Hey guys, I'm Ramon with Lego User Group Panama, and we're over here at the Brickfest Panama 2018 with my take on the Ahch-To Island. That's what it's called, actually. And this is Luke Skywalker's retirement place from the movie.
This is his own personal little retirement home.
I don't know why they bother going to get him, you know? But so my approach to this initially was to make something small, that we could show and, have some more content for the show, right? But, as I built part of it, it kind of just started, to grow on its own because, it needs to have like a specific proportions or shape. So it kind of asked for itself as I went through. The techniques that I use here, basically, I used a ton of these. These are 2x3 slopes, and lots of 2x2 brown. The ones that break. So I actually have at home a bunch of broken brown pieces. That's the crazy part about it. And then so what I did was I basically created the veneers, which are the covers. On the sides and in the front and underneath in the back, you'll probably see some just a bunch of 2x4s rising the platform so that I can rest the top portions of the mountain on top of it. Also, I built these little houses here, which I tried to make it resemble what was in the movie. I used the little 1x1 tubes here. Just to try and get that,
round effect.
Round effect, right? I didn't have the gray one, so I just went for black. I figured, the mountain is good enough, so I can get away with those black ones. I also tried to feature a waterfall, which, if you go back and watch the movie, I don't think there is like a waterfall being featured there, but
A creative liberty. There could be a waterfall on the island. It adds something nice.
Yeah, if you're building a mountain island, you gotta have a waterfall, right? How do these guys drink water? It's not all about that green milk right there, right? You have to have some of that fresh water. And so what I did here was use a bunch of these 1x1 rounded plate, just like everyone else does, basically. And then in order to get the structure right so that it doesn't get pushed inwards when you lift it, I built a wall of those transparent, 1x2 panels in the back, all the way through the top. So you can actually push it inwards, and with as long as reasonable force, and it won't break. It's all modular, really. Like if you take a look at this piece right here, it comes off. It's specifically built for shows. It's not something that is done. Like if you were to have it at home, you'd probably be able to get a lot more creative with it and not have to follow, the rules of the 32x32 base plates. We recreated some of the scenes here from the movie. Here's Luke Skywalker while he's training Rey, with the rocks scene right there. That's the old version, the old Luke Skywalker that lives in the island. We also included, the part where she gives him the lightsaber and he throws it away. Sorry, spoiler alert. I shouldn't have said that. But and then we also incorporated here some lighting elements, which were done by our friend Beckford, who specializes in doing all the lighting for MOGs. And it looks. I guess it looks pretty cool. It gives it that motion effect that you cannot get on a waterfall. I have seen waterfalls actually do roll and move.
Yeah.
That's pretty advanced. But for something like this, I think it does a really good job, and it does attract a lot of attention. People really, really like it.
What do we have down here in kind of this part of the build?
So over here we have the scene where Chewbacca is eating that delicious pork, and then he I don't know if the pork does start crying or they protest or whatever, and all in all he doesn't eat it afterwards. And then right underneath here we have the this is that mysterious hole that in the end, I don't think anyone knew what it was about in the movie. But, Rey was there up here, I think, somewhere up here. And then she was having those hallucinations with Kylo Ren without, shirtless, which was
I mean, I think we've all been there.
Well, I don't know about the Kylo Ren scene, but yes. I mean, she was hallucinating, of course. So yeah, we decided to incorporate that there, and we also used the mid-size Millennium Falcon, which is an older set, because you have to have it. And if you use the larger one, of course, it's out of proportion. We included also these mammals that live by the sea that give you that green juice that Luke Skywalker drinks in the movie. I thought it was hilarious. Just try and have that. And then so another technique that I used on this was to incorporate some 3D elements, right? Because if you have the big island in the back, I mean, it's cool and all, seeing the big mock and everything, but you have to have, it's just like what you would do with photography, right? You have to have your foreground and something in the background. So our foreground, in this case, I used these little small, snap-in islands, and you can actually, pull it apart easily and, put it in one of those plastic containers and transport it to a show. And when you look at it from the front view, it does give you a real nice composition to the whole landscape.
Yeah. So then, talk a little bit more about your kind of mountain and rock work there. Was all those slopes and everything? How'd that come together for you?
Well, besides it being budgetary reasons, I do love working with this kind of rock work where you do slopes and you do bricks and give it that sense of depth. It does take a while to get it done, of course. If you want to make sure it's nice and sturdy. And you can start off with a flat one, and then you add a 2x2, and then it just really goes random. But the real random one, it's only the first one, because once you get to the second one, you have to make sure that it doesn't line up with any.
Right. You don't want like crazy pattern. You want it to look kind of very random and not just the same throughout.
Yeah, so very organic, right? Just like you'd find in the real world. So, it just goes from there. And then obviously, the constraints with having to stop as soon as you get to the end of your base plate so that you can easily transport it.
Yeah. Well, the whole big island came together great, and I love how you included all the different scenes, some of these stranger animals and characters. So thank you so much for bringing it to the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.